outside of gamer types, most people remember the GameCube as the symbol of a disappointing era for Nintendo, if they remember the system at all. But for me, that system was anything but a disappointment. I loved the GameCube. I loved the form factor, I loved the controller, I loved the handle. Speaking of handles, I loved how weird the GameCube was. I mean, it launched with this weird Luigi game that riffed on Ghostbusters. It debuted characters like Chibi Robo and Pikmin, these weird new franchises. It turned Zelda into a cartoon. It had this entire list of exclusives that were, if nothing else, weird. Exclusives like Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. So this game came from the same people who brought you games like Samba de Amigo, Choo Choo Rocket, and something called Sonic the Hedgehog. Never heard of it. Nonetheless, this Sonic team certainly had a pedigree for these bright, colorful, and really eccentric ideas. And in Billy Hatcher, that's as clear as day. A sunny day with 35 rainbows and cascades of falling fruit in the sky. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg put you in control of Billy Hatcher. See, Billy's in a bind because the chicken world's been assaulted by an army of crows who've brought about this eternal night. And obviously that's a problem for chickens. What with the cock-a-doodle-doo and everything. So Billy Hatcher sets out to bring back the morning by rolling giant eggs and hatching monsters from them. You know, the obvious tactical choice. So what all that boils down to in terms of gameplay is this amalgamation of Sega things. Take the physics-based experience of Monkey Ball, add the high-speed rolling attacks and the rails, you know, from Sonic, and throw in some chickens. Man, the GameCube was so weird. So it works like this. You move Billy Hatcher with the analog stick, and since he has a chicken suit, obviously, he can push giant eggs. And these eggs are really the crux of the gameplay. You can roll them into the bad guys like a pinball, you use them to bounce into the air, but of course, you also have to keep the eggs safe. And that means not falling off ledges, and not letting enemies smash it. And as you crush enemies, they leave behind little pieces of fruit. And if you can roll your egg over the fruit, your egg starts to grow. Eventually, the thing gets huge and starts glowing. And once that happens, you can actually hatch the egg to release this Pokemon-like monster, which has special abilities that can help you. So again, those eggs are really everything in Billy Hatcher. And the game is completely and cleverly designed around the concept. Of course, with that comes a lot of complexity. And that's the interesting thing about Billy Hatcher. This may look like a silly kids game, but it's actually a brilliant action puzzler more than anything. One that takes serious skill to play. The physics are terrific, the puzzles are genuinely tricky. This is really a surprisingly smart game, despite the fact that, you know, you're dressed like a chicken. You know, a lot has changed for Nintendo since 2003. They've released much more successful consoles, of course, but they've also become a company from which you expect creativity. And I think the seeds for that reputation were really planted by the GameCube and all its lovably weird games. Billy Hatcher was never exactly considered a masterpiece, but on the GameCube, Sega's quirky game about chicken eggs fit right in.
Good morning!